Welcome back to another edition of Our City. I hope everyone enjoyed the July 4th holiday weekend. And here's a few things going around the city of Elizabeth this week. On Saturday, July 11th, I'm going to join the 10th annual 5th Ward Cookout. It will be in Jefferson Park this year, located between Mary Street and Jefferson Avenue. Councilman Bill Gallman of the 5th Ward puts this together. Features music, pony rides, petting zoo, hay rides, face painting, health screenings, free food and giveaways. And if you want more information, please call 908-820-4238. If you need any more information on this event or any other events going around our city of Elizabeth during the summer, please call our public information office at 908-820-4124. Please stay with us after these messages. We'll be back talking about Elizabeth tourism.
We have some of the finest teachers in the country. And then they graduate. Kane University.
Welcome back to Our City. I am pleased to be joined by Mr. Gordon Haas, who is the Executive Director of the Greater Elizabeth Chamber of Commerce, and among other titles, I'm sure. We'll hear from that in a few minutes. Ms. Lauren Ferrigno, who is a marketing coordinator for Elizabeth, New Jersey. It all starts here. And Ms. Jennifer Costa, the Director of Elizabeth, New Jersey. It all starts here. Welcome.
Thank you.
So, Jennifer, we'll start with you. The mission of the Elizabeth Destination Marketing Organization, which is now known as EDMO.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for the opportunity and inviting us here. And the mission for our organization is to enhance and build the tourism sector for the city. So bottom line is we're looking to drive heads in beds for our hotels. And then once our hotel guests arrive, we want them to come into city and integrate with what the city has to offer.
So, Lauren, you're in charge of the marketing effort, and you're kind of new at all this, right?
Yep.
But you have Elizabeth roots, so...
I do have Elizabeth roots. I have very strong Elizabeth roots.
That's right.
So this position for me feels like it was meant to be for me.
So what are you exactly doing?
I am building the website for the Elizabeth Destination Marketing Organization. The website is called goelizabethnj.com. It's a brand new website. We've redesigned the entire thing. We are in the middle of doing a mobile app right now, which will hopefully be live by the time the show is aired. We're looking for the beginning of July. We have a bunch of new technology that we're bringing into the city when it comes to how we want the public to view Elizabeth. We have drone technology, we have different cinematography that we're using, just different angles and way to capture all of the great things that the city has to offer.
So, Gordon, as the Executive Director of the Chamber of Commerce, this is an idea that came up from the Chamber of Commerce?
That's correct.
How did that happen?
It came from back when we did Exit 13A, Shop, Play, and Stay at 13A. At the end of that, when the state had cut the grants that were available to us, we thought that we would try to find a way to sustain tourism, a self-sustaining, self-funding method. And I spent several years working with you and working with other people in the city, in the hotel community, to try to come up with a way that everyone would find acceptable. And we finally got the city council on board with it back in 2013. And they created a special improvement district called the Elizabeth Destination Marketing Organization.
So, and that entails the hotels and...
That entails all the hotels in the city of Elizabeth. It's the only SID that we know of that's based on blocks and lots rather than neighborhoods. So every hotel in the city is participating in it, and there are different levels of participation depending on their location, because the hotels across from the mall have an additional fee, the franchise fee that built the mall. So they pay a little bit less in the tourism fee that was put on the guests.
So, Jennifer, did this start when you were hired? I mean, the organization is a fledgling organization, and you're the first director, I believe, right?
Absolutely.
So tell us about how did that happen?
So it actually happened by coming into the Greater Chamber office and moving around desks and filing cabinets, literally. But we're, in essence, starting from the ground up and building the infrastructure from the inside out. Even the state of New Jersey is on board with us and in looking at us as the premier urban tourist destination for the state. So we're definitely at the grassroots and we're climbing.
So this is a question we talked about in the beginning. I start with Lauren, who's the youngest here. What have you accomplished so far? You talked about the mobile app. But from your perspective, what's been accomplished? And then I'm going to go with Jennifer on that question.
Okay. I think that the biggest thing of what we've accomplished right now is really digitally and socially having people who would never view Elizabeth viewing Elizabeth and looking to see what we're doing next. Because of the drone videos that we have out on our social media sites, we've had over 54,000 views on our first Introduction to Elizabeth video. And just from that, that's 54,000 people who wouldn't have seen Elizabeth in this way before. So I think we're attracting more attention, especially being so new, that people are very intrigued to see what we're doing next since we started with such a bang.
So I like the drone stuff.
Thank you.
I get a kick out of these things flying around for the Portuguese parade, for the bicycle tour.
Yeah.
So tell us, Jennifer, from your perspective, what's been accomplished so far?
So far, in addition to the drone footage and starting to have a presence in social media, the mobile app we're in the process of building, and it'll be launched July 1st. So we're actually looking to integrate the city and have tourists be able to navigate. They'll be able to know what's going on in town through the events calendar. They'll be able to know where to go to dine, where to go for nightlife, where to go to view our history. In addition, so aside from the technological standpoint, we're also encompassing and bridging the historical segment, because with the City of the Firsts, we are in fact City of Firsts. Elizabeth has a lot of history to offer. And so what we're doing right now is we've met with all the major partners, anybody who is a part of history. So we've had the Snyder Academy on board, Liberty Hall is on board with us. And first, Gordon tells me it's the first that...
It's the first time that all of the partners in history in this city were in one room at one time in a mutually beneficial meeting, so that we actually discussed how we can promote history. The Historical Society was there, Liberty Hall, as was mentioned, the representatives from the two SIDs, both of the executive directors and the SIDs, people from the county, the tourism department of the county, and it was a very good meeting. I think it will lead to some really great ideas.
So Gordon, the Chamber of Commerce, were they the creative engine that got this going, and then?
In essence, we started it, and then EDMO, the Elizabeth Destination Marketing Organization, is a separate entity. I am, the acting executive director of that organization, overseeing what the ladies are doing. But I've been out for a couple of weeks due to an illness, but I think I was on the phone with them. I told a story that when I got to my hospital room, the first thing I said to my wife was, "Give me the phone, I need to call the office." So I've been on top of what's going on, and they've really done a great job in the past couple of weeks. And now that I'm back, I think we will go to strength.
You were just temporarily misplaced.
Misplaced, yeah.
So Lauren, your mother's an Elizabethan, your grandmother's an Elizabethan, and so what do you describe, as someone who didn't grow up here, but your family did, as Elizabeth's best attributes?
Elizabeth's best attributes, well, coming here, I used to come to my grandmother's house every weekend, and we would go to church on Sunday. We would go out to eat after church. So growing up in Elizabeth, outside of Elizabeth, coming into Elizabeth on the weekends, I was always looking forward to where we were going to go eat, the best restaurants in town, and how they have the best Portuguese food and the best Italian food and just different things. And I think that people don't really know that there's so much culture here. And for me, the best attribute is every different culture that Elizabeth has just comes into one, and you can kind of walk through the streets and kind of feel that. And you feel them have a sense of community, like you said, like my family's from Elizabeth, and I was born in Elizabeth, but I grew up in Union and outside Union County, and I still tell everybody that my family's from Elizabeth, because it's strong roots, and people are proud to be from this city, and I'm lucky to have my family from here.
And Jennifer, you're an Elizabeth girl.
Yes, I live here.
You've born and raised here.
No, actually, I was born in Edison.
Okay.
But after college, I moved here to the city of Elizabeth.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
been here ever since.
Tell us about your perspective and your efforts and the attributes that you see from Elizabeth.
Thank you. So I couldn't agree more with Lauren in talking about us being the global melting pot. It truly is a place where we can experience all different ethnicities. If you want to travel the globe, you walk our streets pretty much. And so aside from our restaurants and our upcoming nightlife, this definitely is the place to be. We're the gateway to the city. We're the gateway to the state of New Jersey. And Elizabeth is definitely up and coming.
So, Gordon, what do other people think about this effort? I mean, other chamber members who are not in the hotel industry or the mall industry?
The board of the chamber is very excited by it. The people that we were talking to, I mean, the comments that we've gotten, I mean, people viewed the drone video and said to us they've never seen Elizabeth look as it did in that video. It gives a whole new perspective. I mean, the hotels that we have are excellent hotels. They're all really good quality places, and we want to drive more business to them. The mall, we know that the mall is expanding in the future. Jersey Gardens Mall is probably the #1 tourist attraction in the state of New Jersey, the Mills at Jersey Gardens. I always tell people that the #1 tourist attraction by tourism definition is the Statue of Liberty, which has 9 million visitors a year. Jersey Gardens draws 20 million visitors a year, and 25 to 35% of them are foreign tourists. So we need to capitalize on that. We need to get those tourists not only shopping in Elizabeth, but participating in the nightlife, in the restaurants, and the history of this city. I mean, we are 350 years old. We celebrated it last year, and we have to build on that. We have real historical sites here. If you go to Williamsburg, Virginia, it's all a reenactment, a recreation. We have Liberty Hall, we have the First Presbyterian Church, we have that cemetery, those cemeteries on Broad Street that are really historical sites. Boxwood Hall, Bunnell Hall, Belcher Ogden, those are real. And we need to start capitalizing on that, on real history.
So, Jennifer, you and Lauren are the everyday people that do this stuff, but you have a board of directors. And talk to us about the board and when do they meet and who's on the board.
So we attempt to meet once a month. On the board sits one of the general managers or director of sales for each of the hotel properties. In addition, we have some city key people, representation from both the SIDs, local business owners.
Correct.
And so it's really a diverse board.
The mayor has a representative on the board. The city council, there's a city council member that sits on the board. Somebody representing the mall, the 2 SIDs, as Jennifer said, and they're active. They come, they participate, and they give us some direction.
Is there a chairman of the board?
Yes, there is a chairman of the board. Gabe Kwan, who's the general manager of the Courtyard Hotel by Marriott.
And is that alternate?
At this point, well, it's new, but believe it or not, he's the 3rd chairman.
How's the board chosen? How was the board chosen?
The board was chosen by City Council. In the ordinance that they created 8 spots for hotels and 7 spots for public people. I started to say that he's the 3rd chairman. Unfortunately, the first 2 chairmen, hotel business, they change general managers at hotels like crazy. So the first general manager, right after he became chairman, was transferred to Princeton. The second general manager that came in is now at a hotel in another city here in New Jersey. So Gabe is now the 3rd, and so far the longest serving of all of them.
So, you know, New Jersey always gets recognized somewhat for history, but Boston and Philadelphia and Washington, D.C. and other areas, their historical importance is far greater. So how do we attract the historical people that are interested in history to the history here in Elizabeth, whether it be the Revolution or the buildings that Gordon just mentioned?
Sure. So what we're doing is we're bringing everyone together from the historical component. And once we have our internal infrastructure established, we're going to be reaching out to history buffs, to people who really appreciate the colonial times. And we will be doing a lot of social media campaigning and reaching out to different clubs and organizations outside the state to let them know that there's a place up and coming that they can come to learn about our city's history.
So you were talking about tourism before, Lauren. Are you in touch with the State Tourism Board? Do you work through that area? And
Yes,
what do you do when you get on the phone with the people from the state and they say, hey, where's Elizabeth? No, I'm just
They
kidding.
keep teasing us and they're asking, what are we doing next? I mean, we're sending them our videos, and we've had a couple meetings down in Trenton already, and they've actually taken our new marketing collateral. This is the first brochure that we've produced, and it actually went to the IPOW convention, which is the America's largest international tourism convention.
It's in Orlando, right?
Yep, Orlando.
Yeah.
And they were actually promoting the city of Elizabeth for us. So they took our brochures and they were handing it out to tour operators from around the globe.
Interesting. I can't wait for tour people to start coming here and getting off a bus and then they're going to see the two of you, and you're going to take them on a tour.
We'll probably be in the office behind the scenes.
So do you deal with the state? Or, Lauren, do you deal with the state at all?
Jennifer deals more with the state. I'm more of like the wizard behind the curtain of Go Elizabeth NJ.
Technology.
I'm
So you're
Oz.
doing a technology. You're Oz.
Right.
Okay. Okay. So the type of businesses that are being included in that mission statement and elsewhere, is it a broad-based effort? And tell us about the types of businesses.
It is actually. We're reaching out to a lot of our local restaurants who have been instrumental in giving us details about their venues, their promotions, any events they have coming up. So it's our local restaurants and our local nightlife. They have been really working well with us, and we welcome anybody who hasn't been in touch with us to please reach out to us either online or call our office. We'd love to welcome anybody who would like to participate.
We actually have I'm sorry to interrupt,
go
a
ahead.
segment on our events page of our website for any organization or local business that they're able to upload their own events that they're having throughout the city to our website. So at goelizabethnj.com/events, anybody in the city is able to let us know about the events that they're having throughout the city. Right.
So when we have these tourists come into town, everyone at the line level staff at the hotels, at the front desk, with the mobile app as well as with our website, when a tourist comes in and says, hey, what's good to do in town? Literally, they'll be able to pull up one central point and they'll be able to know tonight is a special night at this location, or tomorrow there's a concert going on, or
Right.
they'll
Even
be
as
able
simple
to
as like
navigate.
a Taco Tuesday at a restaurant. You know, it's from big to small.
Right.
So it's everything that has to do with the city, from the local businesses to citywide events, all
In one
put in
spot.
one spot for people, residents in the city, other business owners, or people traveling into the city. They can all find it easily.
So Jennifer and Lauren just talked about small businesses in our city that are not part of the travel industry. Do you see those members in your chamber and others benefiting from this effort?
Absolutely. There's no question about it. If we can get people to come out of those hotels to downtown, there'll be more shopping in downtown. There'll be more people looking around our city. The whole object of tourism is economic development. That's the bottom line. We want more people coming to Elizabeth, recognizing the opportunity that's in this city, and giving the small business more business. I mean, we sat with our restaurants. Jennifer has practically visited every restaurant in town.
And she eats in them all as well.
Oh my
She
goodness.
tastes. It doesn't show on her though. They're interested. I mean, they want to drive more. You know that we've done the restaurant guide in the past that people carry around in their pocket. That restaurant guide will now be on the mobile app. That restaurant guide will be on the website. We've just started. I mean, in essence, our new website went live on June 1st, and the results have been great. I mean, we get the SEO and the SEM, and don't ask me to translate what those things mean. The wizard tells me what they are, and the numbers are good. I mean, people are coming to our website. People are looking at various things. Go Elizabeth NJ.
So let me ask Lauren what they are.
Right. What are they?
Well, for the past week, we just got a report. We have probably close to 500 people who weren't looking at our website now know Go Elizabeth NJ is now there. We're transmitting through Google, through Bing, through different search engines. When people are typing in keywords like tourism or New York City or Marriott Hotel, just anything that can correlate to Elizabeth is now popping up in front of them. So places where Elizabeth hasn't been before digitally, we're starting to enter that realm. Right. And for being in my position for not 3 months yet, I think that we're heading in a very strong direction.
So what's the most exciting part so far, Lauren, in your efforts to develop this infrastructure?
I think the most exciting part for me personally is that it's so brand new, and when you talk to people about it, the first reaction to them is, Elizabeth? Really? Tourism? And we get to prove them wrong. We get to see that look in their eyes when it sparks. And I think that's the most exciting thing for me, is because it's overcoming the stigma of what New Jersey is as a whole. You know, it's overcoming that for me is the most exciting part, because I love to be that person.
It goes back to the reason we started Shop, Play, and Stay at 13A, because if you remember back in those days, there was a show on TV called The Sopranos, and only one city's name appeared in the beginning of that show, and it was Elizabeth, and immediately followed by the refinery, which was in Linden and still is in Linden. And I took that as an offense to our city and tried to prove that we have parks and we have residential areas and we have shopping, and that's what 13A was about. And we're just carrying that further. I mean, the drone videos give a view of our city that's never been seen before.
And no filters.
Right, no filters,
no color enhancements.
no fooling around with what you have. What you see is what you get.
Yep.
And I mean, people have commented to us that the one shot that we did of the bike tour, and you'll see more of the bike tour because we're going to put a full-length video, a 2-minute video on about the bike tour. But the views of the newly renovated boardwalk and the newly renovated recreation pier really give people, like, that's in Elizabeth,
Right.
and they're amazed by it. And I think that's going to get people to go down there and ride their bikes down there.
So Jennifer,
Yes.
where do you see tourism in 5 years in Elizabeth?
I definitely see us on the map. Literally, the state of New Jersey is producing a tourism map, and they're having different locations. And we're a spot on there now. We have an ad taken. I think people will start to look at us as an alternative to New York City prices. Maybe not the craziness of Jersey City or Hoboken, more of a hometown flair. But definitely we are up and coming, and we're coming strong.
And the partnerships.
Yes.
What are they? Who are they?
So as of right now, we've teamed up with a new company. They are actually producing a magazine for us. It'll be called Elizabeth Now. It'll be in all the hotel guest rooms. It'll be in major airport terminals such as Miami, Puerto Rico, here at Newark Liberty International Airport as well. And the magazine will feature everything that Elizabeth has to offer, in addition to our restaurants, our nightlife, current events up and coming. So that's one of our strongest partners right now. In addition to the local tourism, historical segments, they're partnering with us as well, and our restaurants and our nightlife.
So Lauren, technology and the mobile app and marketing tourism for the city, how can technology grow? I mean, I'm asking you to look into the future, I guess. How do you enhance a mobile app? What do you do?
We just keep everything up to date. We keep it current with the trends that are going on. Technology is always changing, and there's really no way to predict which way it's going to go. But I know that with the three of us together and the mindset that we have for the direction that we want to go, we definitely want to be dancing on that line of getting very innovative with what we want to do. So whether it be more interactive, maybe we'll have holograms of Elizabeth coming up. Who knows? I mean,
3D.
Yeah, 3D Gordons popping up off your cell phone telling you what to do.
God forbid.
We could do bobbleheads.
We could do bobbleheads.
That would be easy to understand. Sell holograms.
Yeah, but I mean, it can go anywhere. When you have, working with Jennifer and with Gordon and them allowing me to have creative freedom to say ideas that could be outlandish to some people, but might work. It's great to have that, let's do that, let's try it. So I think we can go anywhere.
So we spend a lot of time on the drone videos, and I've seen them, and it's absolutely fascinating. So how do you get the drone videos out there? I mean, is there a company they're paid for by Edmo, by the tourism tax?
Yeah, they're paid. They film, they edit, they add the music, they add all of the. What you see is what they do. And then we get them out through the wizard here, and she puts them out on Facebook, and we have a YouTube channel that we're going to start putting those things on. This show will appear on our website, on our media section. Anytime that Elizabeth has been mentioned in a positive sense in tourism, we're going to pop it up there. So people are going to, hopefully that will grow, and the page will grow, and
we'll also be doing 15-second Instagram clips. So on a weekly basis, it'll kind of keep material, everything fresh and live.
And then of course we're going to have Liz and Beth.
Who, that's part of my question. And we're running out of time. What do we got, about 10 minutes left? I have 5 minutes left? I don't know. But my one
we'll
question
let Lauren
is,
answer that question.
who are Liz and Beth?
Well, Liz and Beth are our avatars.
Elizabeth.
Right, Liz and Beth, Elizabeth. So they're our avatars that we are creating.
Avatars.
Yes, that we are creating as millennials with a reach back into the history of Elizabeth.
Right.
So what they're going to do is provide a point of view for the city, and they're basically going to act as a millennial would, somebody coming into the city to visit, but they're also going to have the ties back to history, and we're still working out the details with that. But it's very exciting.
Liz and Beth will be everywhere in this city that
Yeah.
anything is going on, and they'll tweet out. Liz will tweet out, Beth will tweet out at the same time. They may be in different places, but they're going to be our avatars that are going to be at every event that we're promoting. And therefore, they'll be at the bike tour, they'll be at the Portuguese, and they will start tweeting out. And rather than putting these young ladies out there, we decided to create Liz and Beth. And you'll see Liz and Beth and some of the things we've done already peeking over, it looks like Kilroy at some point. And it's an idea that came up.
Could have made Eliza and Beth. You had the whole name.
Well, but we wanted to do Liz and Beth. And it came about during the course of interviews. We met with somebody.
Don't rule out Eliza popping up at some point.
It could be. I mean,
she may
we
join
could
the
have
crowd.
we could have a third person. One of the things that Jennifer has done is created a relationship with Fairleigh Dickinson University. I know we're at Kane. We have a relationship with Kane as well. But Fairleigh Dickinson, and I'll let her explain why Fairleigh Dickinson.
So they are the #4 tourism school in the country, and so they have an international hospitality and tourism program. So we saw there to be a need to connect students that are becoming affluent within the industry and connect them to our hotels. So we'll be providing internship opportunities for them, as well as on an exchange basis, having them come in, learn what the city has to offer, and then as well as provide employment opportunities for them, and again, directly reflecting the tourism segment.
And the hotels are really into it. I mean, I know that a couple of the hotels have actually brought some of them on board. And we're also working with the Department of Labor in the
New Jersey Talent Network related to the retail and tourism program. We're actually going to be also partnering with Union County College and through the Division of Labor as well, and put together training for 101 basic customer service in tourism as a refresher. So we'll be able to offer this training to line level staff at local restaurants, as well as at our hotels, and kind of integrate. So this way, when we do have tours, we can receive them in an appropriate manner that will get us that raving review.
And the hotels are doing fairly well, right?
The hotels aren't bad. I mean, consider the industry average. They're doing okay. They can do better. We'd like to see them have a higher level of occupancy, and obviously if their occupancy goes up, then their rates can go up. That's what the hotels would like to see. We're in a very good position because of our location near Newark Airport, but the hotels weekends could do better, even though one of the hotels told us that they're full on weekends.
Good to hear.
They blew us away with that because most of the hotels cry that weekends are very quiet. But the hotels have been great. I mean, we've offered specials in relation to the bike tour. We've offered specials in relation to the Portuguese Day for the Portuguese Parade. If people wanted to come down for the weekend, there was a website, and I'll again let the ladies explain how that information got out onto the internet. But people looked at it.
So whenever there's an event going on in town, we'll be partnering with these different organizations to be able to offer exclusive hotel rates. And this way, if people want to come in for the weekend, experience the event, be able to do some shopping or dining in town, they'll now have special rates for them. As well as we will be taking these marketing campaigns and sending them to people that are the enthusiasts outside of the state to try and draw business in.
We reached out to local bike clubs around the area and put special ads out there that if a bike club member looked for something on the website, all of a sudden they rolled over something, our ad would appear in front of them saying, we have this bike race coming up, and here are the hotel rates if you're interested in coming down.
So I want to thank you for taking the time to join us on the show. That's a half-hour show, and I appreciate all of your efforts. Jennifer, Lauren, and Gordon, I think it's absolutely terrific what you're doing. I mean, I'm buying into this. I gotta figure out who these avatars are, though. Meet them someday. So thank
You'll
you
have
for
an
joining us.
opportunity to interface with them, I'm sure.
I want to thank Jennifer Costa, and I want to thank Lauren Ferrigno and Gordon Haas for joining us on This Week in Our City. We'll see you next week on another edition of Our City.